it's Katie here and it's time for my top reading picks from June. So before I get started with this video, I just want to say a really quick thank you to you all because I now somehow have over 100 subscribers on this channel, which is crazy. When I started doing booktube, I didn't even expect to get 1 subscriber, let alone 100, so it's a really big deal for me and I'm so thankful to you all, especially because I was terrified about making videos because I'm awkward and nervous when I'm on camera. So thank you all so much. I wish I could do something special like a giveaway, but I'm broke, so I can't afford to do giveaways. I am sorry you decided to subscribe to a peasant. You can take the gratitude from my heart for free. That's worth something, right? So anyway, my June reading picks. There are 2 books this month that I've really enjoyed, so I'm going to share them with you and hopefully you like the sound of them. So the first book that I've enjoyed this month is The Establishment by Mel Deverell. This is a dystopian book, as you've probably guessed by the cover because it looks very dystopian. And it follows siblings Cassie and Dan, and at the start of their book they're on separate journeys. Dan is on an expedition and his family have been told that he's presumed dead. And Cassie has been separated from her mother and is searching for her. The Establishment is about the current government, which are known as the Establishment, and they have basically forced their way into power and brainwashed the younger generation to believe that the way they're living life now is how it's always been and how it should be. They don't really have any freedom to choose their own careers, to choose how they spend their leisure time. They barely even get any leisure time. A few members of the older generation have refused to conform to the establishment's ways and they remember what it was like before the establishment. So they've banded together to create the movement, which is a force against the establishment. They intend to restore the old ways and let people get their lives back. Over the course of the book, Cassie and Dan start to realise the truth about the establishment, and eventually they end up part of the movement's plans by the end of the book. It's a very gripping story and it's quite fast-paced from the very beginning. At the start, I felt like the chapters were very rushed, but in a good way. It kind of helps you to feel the adrenaline that Cassie is feeling when she's running from the establishment and desperately searching for her mum. The story follows Cassie in first person and it follows Dan in third person, and I think that really worked well because Cassie's pretty much on her own. Even though she meets people along the way, she is on her own in her search for her mother, whereas Dan is part of an expedition team, so his story being in third person helps you to understand the other members of the team as well. And the other characters in this book are all really great. What I also really loved about this book is that romance isn't a main plot within it. There's a little hint of romance I think that could develop further on in the series, but it's definitely not a focus point in this story at all, which is really great because it just focuses on the action and adventure side of the story instead. Even though Dan and Cassie are apart for most of the book, you can still feel the strong bond that they have, and I hope that they're going to team together and be a force to reckon with in the second book. This book is a great piece of UK YA and it's by a wonderful indie author, and as you know I love supporting independent authors because a lot of them don't get the recognition they deserve. So for anyone that really likes the dystopian genre will definitely love this book, so give it a try. The second book that I have adored this month is P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. This is the second book in a series, the first one being To All the Boys I've Loved Before. If you've not read that book, then it's a fun twist on contemporary. It's about a girl named Laura Jean, and throughout her life there have been a few boys that she has fallen in love with, but from afar. She's never actually dated any of them, but she still felt like she was in love with them. So she would sit down and write a letter to them, where she would basically explain that she loves them and how she feels about them. And then she'd put the letter away in a box and that would help her move on from them. Now obviously she never ever intended to send those letters to said boys, but in that book somebody sends out her letters and all the boys that she's been in love with in her life receive those letters and are then aware of her feelings for them. Now, I don't read as much contemporary as I used to, but reading the blurb for that book definitely stood out for me. It was a fun twist that I'd not read anything of before, so I really like the idea of it, and the first book was really great, and I reviewed that on my blog last year, so I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to check that out. This book pretty much picks up where the first book left off. Laura and Peter are trying to work things out together now, but Peter's ex-girlfriend Genevieve is still in the picture and is causing problems for Laura Jean. Laura Jean unexpectedly gets a reply to one of her letters sent out in the first book. And so a boy called John from her past ends up back in her life. And it's all very complicated high school drama. What I love about Jenny's writing is that she always keeps things fun, as well as having serious issues in the background as well. And this series is really fun and the characters are all super awesome. Laura Jean is an exceptionally cute character. She's quite naive and quite innocent, but I think that just adds to her charm. Because she and her family are part Korean as well, I like the Korean culture that gets added to the story. I think that's really interesting. I like how there is definitely a big contrast between the love interests in her book as well. You can definitely see why Laura Jean fell in love with the boys that she fell in love with. I think it definitely paints a perfect picture of how dramatic high school relationships can be. I'm definitely attached to Laura Jean and I can't wait to see what life throws at her next. If you are a fan of contemporary stories, then definitely check out the first book because it's really fun. So they were my 2 reading picks for June. I hope you like the sound of either of those books. I haven't read as much as I intended to this month because I've been quite busy doing other things, but I do actually have a lot of books that I need to read. I have too many books. But anyway, thanks for watching, and again, thank you for getting me over 100 subscribers. I love you all so much. I'll see you next time. Bye!